Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to the Weekly WAYPN. I'm Cal.
And I'm Sonny,
aka
Henry, and Sangita.
Today, we're starting off with Cian. It's reading time.
So I finished my free Stand Guard veteran, or as I call it, Bolter Brethren. He's on the right with the cloak, compared to the left, which is my first rendition of Black Templars.
Alright, let's take a look. So, I think he's a lot cleaner with his lines. A lot cleaner with his lines. I do like the red here. It's quite prominent. Got some nice clean edge highlighting. But I think on the elbows, the edge highlighting isn't as clean as on the knees.
Yeah.
Like, especially right here. I'd say, like, that's perfect.
Yeah.
The way he's got it there.
Yeah.
He could use some shading on the knee pad to, like, lighten it with a bit of a tint. You know, go maybe... I'd say if you're sticking with just Citadel paints, like, don't go any higher than Mechanicus Standard Grey. So what are your thoughts?
Well, I think the color of the edge highlight, I've noticed that he tends to go for a blue-gray edge highlight. I think for the black that he's chosen, which is a pure black, it should be a neutral gray.
I don't know about that. Like, I think that's just purely a color choice. I don't think that that's quite as bad as, you know, you're making out there. I think it's not as much about the color, it's more about the precision. But
but I'm saying it in terms of like lighting effect. If you're going to highlight an item, like let's say if you're going to base coat him with orange and then you highlighted a completely different color,
but
that's a specific effect, like it's like a color shift effect.
But I think like that's sort of a traditional thing for this color scheme.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I do really like the white. It's quite stark, but unfortunately it doesn't have that depth. You know, it's
maybe some apothecary white contrast. No.
I've just had very bad experiences with that in the past. I think you're a lot cleaner than you were before. You can definitely see that.
Yeah.
I think that there's, you know, a lot to like about it, but I think next time I'm going to remember not to open this on the actual Facebook and open a new one.
So yeah.
But yeah, I think it's looking good. I like the desk is serving you well. Well, it's technically not a desk, but as you said, a TV stand. But I think that it's odd. It seems like the white here on this side isn't as clean as that white over there.
I don't know. It looks pretty smooth to me. There's maybe that might be a mold line there. I'm not sure.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's pretty smooth.
Yeah. I think that, you know, might be a bit bold with the edge highlightings there on the thing, but I think that you've come a long way from where you were. You know, I think that you've improved a lot, and we can see that. So here's what I would say, right? I would say that what you've done well is you have improved a tremendous amount. You have improved just an astronomical amount, but still needs a tuft or some rocks on that snow.
On the base.
Needs something extra. What do you think he's done well, and where do you think he can improve?
I think, like you said, he's improved in his level of precision. I think for this particular model, he could improve on the basing a little bit more, and keep up with, you know, making more precision lines as he has been doing as of late. Yeah.
All right, then let us move on. So next up, we've got Calvinoni, and he's got a full list of conquistadors assembled. He didn't use any guns, apparently. Well, let's take a look.
I wonder which game this is from.
The conquistadors, or four rather. I'm not too sure. Let's see if we can get a little closer on some of these because we're from pretty far away. Those mold lines are pretty stark though.
Oh.
Might want to take care of those. Or if I was being lazy, I'd just do the shoes and say it's a stylistic choice.
Yeah, I know, like a seam.
Yeah, like
a
seam.
pant seam. Yeah.
But yeah, no, these are some nice looking models.
Yeah.
And it is good seeing people going through the various stages of what they're doing. And I stuffed up yet. Oh no, I didn't stuff up. I did open this on a separate tab.
Yes.
But it's good seeing people go through the various processes because I think some people just see the finished product and they're just like, I wish I was that good.
Yeah, with WAYPN, we try to encourage more on, like, you can have... I think this was part of our group rules or something, to share more on the work in progress stuff rather than final product stuff.
Yeah.
So that people can see that how you got to your result.
Mm-hmm. And so James has been working on Nemesis Lockdown, and he's sort of showing, alright, here's what I'm starting out with. And not so much assembly, but more just here's how they are when I get them.
In the box, yeah, and they look really cool.
Well, I think we see some more of this one along the way, so let's move on.
Ooh, look at this fire.
Alright, so Ron Purvis has done up some fire elementals, and I actually like this style of fire elemental where it's not actually realistic. You know how he's got the whites up at the top sort of thing with a lot of it? So I know that, like, people love the black smoke tipped ones, right? But to be honest, I much prefer
this one. Yeah, I think it's different. Okay, black tipped flame is indicative of the fuel that is being used, if I'm not wrong, right? Like if you use more like crude oil or like diesel and you burn it, then you have more black smoke coming from it, right?
I'm not sure. You might be right on that.
But like, white tip flame is more like a clean, precise fire or whatever. Like, it's Bunsen burner flames, that sort of thing. So, I do agree with you. I kind of prefer the white tip fires. Yeah. And it's good for this because they are purely made of fire. At least that's what it looks like.
I also like seeing in the background how he's made the bases so that at the center they've got all the fire at the center sort of thing.
The heat is at the middle where the sauce is and
where they will be.
Yeah, which is fantastic.
Which I think we see them completed in just this next one. Yeah.
Nice. Check this out. Oh, it looks like he adds the black tips in the end.
Oh, he does.
Yeah. Looking at this, it kind of adds a bit more definition to them as well.
It does, but to be honest, I still prefer them the way they are before.
I think maybe I like it if it was just at the bottom that he's done the black and left the tips at the very top as it were.
I don't know.
Because I like it. I like how that black kind of adds a bit of depth to it.
I don't know, but I think this is very much of the muchness sort of thing, but I prefer the way that he's done these bases, but what I probably would have done differently. See how on the fire elemental at the back, the big one, it's radiating out from him, whereas it more seems to be going along that crack along there. What I would try and do is sort of like roughly try and note where each of the fire elementals are going to go, because I think it's a good effect, right? But I think play to that, because I think
like the consistency is that what you're saying?
Well, no, because like this guy here, right? It's not that it's I guess maybe one of the reasons he wants to do it is to show it off more. And I can get that mentality. But I guess for me, I just sort of like the idea of like the fire coming out from there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they look good.
Yeah.
I think that they probably, in a technical sense, look a lot better here. But for me, I just love that yellow flame effect.
Yeah. I think Ron seems to have found the formula for the fire-like, lava-like effects.
Yeah.
Ever since we saw the pterodactyls, I forget what it is called.
Oh yeah, but I know what you're talking about.
Scorch something.
Scorch wings?
Scorch wings.
Yeah.
And then he sort of followed through with that same style with these other ones, and it seems like he's got it down pat, like a formula for fire, which is really good.
Yeah.
Very nicely done.
Alright, and this is James's update.
Ooh.
So, milestone reached. I painted the bone talons, and
I think that's meant to be a emoji, but it
it
didn't come through. Yeah.
on all my adult queen and creepers. Alright, going to work on the bases and the skin next. Alright, let's take a look. So, he's left the skin like that sort of whitish colour.
Yeah.
Alright. But the bones do look quite nice.
Yeah.
I think that they've come up pretty well.
So is this just the base coat of the bone, or he's finished the bone?
As far as I know, he's finished the bone. So I think he's using a combination of speed paints and just null oil to get these effects, which is pretty good.
Okay.
But I think I've seen these with a little more work done since then. So I'm not sure if he's done an update for that yet, but I think they're looking good. What I do like is seeing the progress, but for me, I would find like while I do similar to this, right? I'd find it very frustrating to like be showing it in bits and pieces, especially if you're new, because you're like, it's not finished yet. I'd be pretty nervous, but I think it's coming out.
It's good, yeah.
It's coming out really well.
Yeah.
I think that the flesh is coming out well. The only thing, oh no, I clicked it.
It's okay.
I think that these might need just a tiny bit more depth, the flesh bits. But that's about it. You know, that's the only thing that I could say on that one.
Yeah, I think I would agree with you on that.
Yep.
Okay, good. It's still there.
All right.
Oh,
next
and
up.
we got Jose.
All right. Do you want to read?
Yes. 7 more Kingdom Death models done, and the next batch already have some paint on them. Names and maybe notes on individual pictures. I've done some maths. If I can paint 21 more models this year, I'll have painted as many as I've gained. Which
nice.
is my last remaining painting goal for the year. Nice! I'm expecting at least one more to turn up, so that's at least 22 more minis I want done before 2024. At my current minis per week rate, I should get 24 more done. My rate will likely drop once I run out of batch paintable minis. Well, I really like these because of the color scheme. Because he's got a very nice bright gold yellow with that very nice blue, ultramarine blue.
Well, that's not an ultramarine.
That's more like a cobalt, I think.
Yeah, it's more a cobalt.
Yeah.
So I very much like the spear and the bone here. I think that looks good. I really like the hair here.
It's like a nice, like warm orange to pair with that warm yellow.
But with the gold, I think it's a bit too flat.
Yeah.
Like it needs some depth. Oh, excuse me. Like here, I probably would have darkened like at least one of these underside sort of thing.
Yeah.
But that's personal preference. I think, you know, if you're hitting for tabletop plus, which is what Joseph's standard is, I think you're hitting it. But I do really think that the gold could use more work.
Yeah, but everything else is great.
especially since he says that it's meant to be more organic, right? Like that this is meant to be a thing that is a part of him. So I feel like it being so bright and shiny, and like no scratches sort of thing, sort of goes against the theme a bit. I really like the way he's doing the lanterns.
Yeah.
I think the lanterns are coming up great. I think his bone is fantastic. And
I think
as
the
always,
skin is very nice.
the skin's nice. And as always, the basing, very good. So
very naturalistic and very cohesive, what he's chosen to do here.
yeah, but I'm not too sure what this thing is here.
It looks like a phantom hand.
It does, doesn't it? It's so weird, its placement.
Yeah, I wonder what that is about.
Right?
Ooh, it's this model.
He's done a lot better with the eyes this time.
I've seen this model. When I saw this, I was like, why does this model look so familiar? And I've seen this a lot on Pinterest.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, but yeah, it's looking great. That blue contrasts very nicely with the skin tone and that choice of like a burgundy bra top thing. Very nice. But I'm not sure what is that that's sort of on her knee.
Yeah, no, neither am I.
It kind of looks like a fleshy thing that's sort of grabbed on.
It does look that way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It sort of looks like it's kept her bound sort of thing.
Yeah. Color-wise, there's nothing wrong with it. It works, but the way that sculpt looks, it looks like a fleshy thing after he's painted it that color as well.
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure what that is.
Because it seems to go over both parts, but like that's the sculpt. We can't really comment on that.
Yeah.
But this right here, which is emitting the light source, I think that looks really good. So I think he's doing a lot better with his eyes, getting used to the synthetic brushes. I like the teal aqua sort of vibe that he's been going with. I think this sort of, what do you call it? Auburn blonde.
Yeah.
I think that's come out really well.
She looks like she's got that little pink fleshy thing too, but it looks...
Where is it?
On her other leg. There it is.
I think that's a dagger hidden in there. But yeah.
Look at the skull.
I think that when it comes to some of these models, right, I think that I really like the way he does the lanterns. The lanterns look absolutely fantastic in my opinion. I feel like here that you could sort of brighten the metal in some areas. I think like besides the eyes, I think the metal is probably one of Joseph's weakest points. Because I feel like he does a lot of work with the highlighting with a lot of the other stuff. Like you can see like the individual stripes along here and so on, right? And like the metallic right here looks nice, the way that he's darkened it down there. But we don't often see that with the rest of his metal, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess so. But I can't tell if that is manually painted shadow or it's just the reflection.
No, it's manually painted. You can tell because of how it's quite stripy sort of thing. But yeah, I think that the blues come out very nicely. Did you hear that?
Yeah, it's a cider can.
Oh, okay. Excellent.
Look, it's a hand coming from the ground and he's got his leg.
Yes. But once again, I'm very impressed with the
lanterns, yeah.
Alright. So yeah, I think...
Very, very nice color choice.
Yeah.
Oh dear, this one.
I think
the face.
Yeah, I think it's mostly because of the lips, not so much because of the eyes, but I think like the eyes accentuate the lips.
Yeah.
And it just sort of looks a bit
derpy.
Puffy.
Yeah.
But I think that the leathers has come out well. I think that this area's come up well.
Yeah.
Like, I think probably the reason why we're so drawn to the face is he's done a pretty good job with the rest of it. The skin looks good, everything else looks fine. There's
Yes.
nothing wrong with it.
Yes.
Like, take a look. Once we're looking at the back of this model, like, it looks like a much better paint job. And so what I think it is it's just the face.
Right, yeah, no, because usually it's quite smooth. The color combination really draws the attention. He has very good choice in where he places the colors as well, which colors go where. So
like, even here it looks quite nice. I think it's just unfortunate with the face.
With the face, yeah.
I'm very glad we cannot see her face, as I've got no idea what's going on with the sculpt there.
Oh.
But yeah.
The art shows a female face, but the sculpt is a messy blob of who knows what. I couldn't understand what the detail wanted to be. I've just painted it as bone to match the antelope horns that have to be coming from somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see what he's saying.
I see what you mean.
But yeah, no, I think I very much like the cloak, what he's done here.
Oh, yeah. Very nice subtle highlights.
Yeah. Once again, I think he's doing really well with the lens. And I think that that's a bit of a standout feature. And I feel like the glow is a lot better here. Not as intense, not as over the top here. Because, like, before, like, this whole area here would have been lit up yellow if he was doing it before.
No, it's got a nice tinge of green.
Yeah.
It's very nice, very lovely.
Well, I think he's done really, really well with all of those.
Yeah.
But how about you give your takeaways, what you think he's done well, where he can improve?
I think the metals, like we mentioned, we could just, touch up here and there to bring out some parts and maybe add some shadows, stronger shadows and highlights. And I think he's done, as per usual, excellent basing, excellent color placement and color choice. It's not always just about just choosing the right colors. You can choose the right colors, but where you place those colors matters as well. And he's very good at that, choosing what's going to be the accent, what's going to be the predominant color, what's going to be the secondary. He's very good at that. Great bone texture. I think he's improved with his lantern.
Oh yeah, no, that was going to be one of the things that I was going to bring up, because you went through just about every single point. But so for me, I can see that he's improving with his faces, right? Like, I think, like, massively he's really, really trying. But I do think that is sort of his downside, because, like, we look at this model that we've got here, the antelope guy, and he looks fantastic. But once again, it is the points that you're pointing out, right? It's like the metals seems to be a bit of a downside for him. I think it all depends on what he wants to do, because the issue is, right, he's saying he wants to be tabletop plus, right? And I think when it comes to the metals, it makes it so that he doesn't look as it doesn't match the goal, in my opinion. Okay, so if you're tabletop plus, right, it means you're sort of like you're doing better than tabletop, right? But you're not going all the way to character. And, like, these are just 3 arbitrary categories that we've chosen, right? Like, these could be called anything, right? A level, whatever. But we know roughly where he's aiming. Okay? And I feel as if the metals don't match his goal.
I think for metal, right, it's very easy to get wrong because of the texture. Metal is all about texture.
Yeah.
So if that texture doesn't come through and you are trying to make it look like metal, then it's harsher to judge that aspect. Because if it doesn't look like metal, then it doesn't look like metal.
Yeah,
kind of
so
thing, right?
I think one of the big things is that when it comes to metal, right, I look at it and I think about 2 things, right? There's ways of making metal look good simplistically, right? And we've seen it with people like Tyrone.
Tyrone.
So the beaten metal look is usually, go black base or go very dark metallic base and then dry brush over the top.
Yeah.
And see, I feel like that might even be better than this. Like, he's done a lot of like edges here, but I want to go back into it for a moment and see if I can find the guy with where he's done some of the metal work with the chest, and I feel like with him that's where he should be aiming for next. So we see it a bit with her breastplate, but not so much with her sword. So you see here, right? He's got this sort of like shadow coming down along here, the shadow along here. But then we don't see it in other areas. Like that's the kind of thing that I'd like to see with him. Just treating it more like he would treat other areas, because it feels like with the metals that he's gone, all right, it's metal, so I'm going to paint it metallic and sort of be done with it, right?
Yeah.
And I think like that's sort of like the next area to go, because like we know that Joseph's aiming for tabletop plus, as I said. And if that's your aim, like, I think that we're not telling him the truth if we don't pick up on this part. So I think we can see him improving on the faces, right? And I don't want to give him a hard time about that, because he's trying, he's doing his darndest, he's working with synthetic brushes, he's going hard.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's not the same with the metal.
Yeah.
Like he's just sort of like, oh, this is one hassle I don't have to deal with.
I guess.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
Oh, speaking of hassles, who's this guy?
Who is this guy?
So I finished up the tower, and I waffled on about some nonsense about the
Votan.
Yeah. So here is the tower all done up, and like I did a lot of edge highlighting on these guys, and I'm not sure that it comes up that much, unfortunately. I'm like, none of this really comes up. But I don't know why this photo didn't work out, but the other one...
Oh, the sizing.
Yeah. Because I posted it in another area and it did. But yeah, I don't know how this is coming up, but I did like the little conversion I did here. I'm not sure how the axe came across, but why don't you give criticism for me while I scroll through?
Yeah, I think when I can see some of the edge highlight, but maybe because it's just a shade or two lighter than the armor, it could have blended in. So maybe next time we can go up at least 3 shades brighter.
Oh, see, I don't want to go too bright, otherwise I feel like it'll be cartoonish. I was pretty happy with that. The
robotic arm, yeah.
Yeah, because like the way the shading sort of worked.
Yeah. It's quite cool. But you see that very nice smooth highlights with the brown. Very nice. Yeah, and the decals came out really good as well.
Yeah, I did not enjoy putting those decals on.
But yeah, you've got like enough pops of color with the accent pieces that it does give it a bit more character. Because I know that you were complaining about how you feel that this is very bland. It's not as great as it could have been. But I think, like I personally think that maybe because your edge highlights are nice and thin, so if you did go a bit brighter, it would not look as cartoonish as you think.
Maybe.
Especially on that scale, because you're looking from far.
All right, speaking of Tyrone, here we are. Would you like to read out?
Yeah, for my Whip Wednesday, I've been putting together minis based on my current D&D party. They're playing a group of dastardly villains. More to come soon.
All right.
Definitely villainous. Yeah.
So we've got right here. Oh, that's very cool. He's doing the
Like a
devil horn fingers,
Spider-Man.
devil horn fingers, and then the
Oh,
flames are
right.
coming out of it.
Yeah, I feel for this, it would really benefit from some of that orange and yellow gradation instead of just straight red.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The flame could have a bit more to it.
Yeah, a bit more to it.
Also, this basing needs some work, Tyrone.
Yeah.
Color scheme wise, he seems very sort of plain. There's not a lot to pop. Like the green is the only thing that sort of pops out of it.
Yeah, I can see what you mean by that. The values are quite similar to one
Yeah.
another in that sense. But he does look evil. He does have that evil vibe. Ooh.
I like the way that the coat's done up here with the dry brushing and all of that. It makes it look very much like a battered leather coat. And this bugbear looking guy.
And I see that he's used the same color with the red of the fire, with the red of the blood here on his fist. And I think a different shade of red would work better to make the bloody look, because that's closer to mixed with some white.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
But I think like you want a white within that yellow.
Yeah.
And like I think that especially if they're going to be character models, I think you might want to put a little more work into some of these
bases.
Yeah.
I think that his choice of a very sort of dark, desaturated colors does work with the theme, though.
Yeah, maybe, but like I feel like there needs to be some
something.
difference with the values, especially with the horns up the top, because they're going to be getting a lot of light.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'd say that work on the base and work on the values. That's what could be improved. What I think came out really well was the coat. Your thoughts?
And the staff.
Yes, the stuff. Yes.
Yeah, and I think you could improve on the fire.
Yeah.
As well, and maybe don't have the same reds that you use for fire and for blood.
I think that can be okay once he adds like the yellow and
the orange. Yes, that can be okay because it will differentiate after that.
All right. So next up, we've got
Brett Fugglesby. I hope I said it right.
Bugsby.
Fugglesby.
Yes. We can't pronounce anything at the best of times. So he says, my take on the 3 branches of the Dark Angels. So just for you who is unaware, they've got something that they call the Green Wing, which is the sort of standard Dark Angels, right? Then there's the Raven Wing.
Wait, sorry, Dark... Oh, no, yes, Dark Angels are green, yeah. I, for some reason, thought of Blood Angels. And I was like, red? Shouldn't they be red? Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So there's what they call the Green Wing, which is just sort of standard Dark Angels, right? And that's companies 3 to 10. And then there is the Raven Wing, which is the second company, and the Death Wing, which is the first company. But it doesn't seem as if he has any of the Terminators here. So when he says the 3 branches of the Dark Angels, I'm not 100% sure on what he's talking about, because I see here, maybe he's talking about the different, some of the different chapters, because like different chapters have different looks. Like obviously he's just doing the actual or maybe he's talking about the models, because like we've got here like some of the older models and then some of the newer models.
Yeah.
Right? So maybe that's what he's referencing.
Maybe. I'm not too sure.
I think that the red shoulder pads really does help break up the Dark Angels, because they're very like monotone. Like we talk about monochromatic color harmonies, and like they do not pop enough at all.
Yeah, well, this is very complimentary what he's gone for the green and red.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the metallic
Comes
effect,
up.
yeah, very nice. I'm not sure what kind of paint he has put on, if it's just regular contrast over a Zenithal Prime, because I can tell that he's done a Zenithal, right?
Maybe. I'm
Or
not
like
sure.
a silver base maybe, and then he glazed some transparent paint on top. Maybe
Yeah,
that's
you
what's
might
happened.
be right. It might
That's
be
quite
speed
cool.
paint. But I think they look good. I think that the steel comes up really nicely. Like, there's a lot of different ones. I like the steel ones the most. I think you might be talking about chapters because I'm pretty sure these guys are the Covenant of Steel is what I think they're called. Something like that.
Very
But
confusing stuff for me.
but I think the main thing is like we got to see how they look based. We don't see the eyes done up with a lot of these guys.
There's a lot of accent areas that could be brought out, which I hope to see painted as well.
But yeah, so hopefully we will see some more work on these from Brett. Alright, so next up we've got more work by Joseph. So this is The Survivors.
So it looks like they're just base coated green, and he's
hitting the
accent areas with the yellows.
Yes, it does look that way.
They look very cool. There's a kid.
Yes,
Child.
But I wonder why he's gone for a green undercoat with some of them.
Yes, I'm very keen to see how it turns out. Very much like, his Dragon Lord. He started out a completely different green and then went up to something completely different.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what the plan is here.
Well, hopefully we'll see some more on these because that's just popped up now. So we will hopefully see some more.
Ooh,
we've got Andy.
Still need to do the base, but I finished off Renarian. Is that how you say it? From Journeys in Middle East Earth. I keep saying that. The Journeys in the Middle Earth.
Arabian Nights. Like Arabian Days. Dropping off a ring at a mountain of fire. But yeah. Alright, let's take a look.
I'm sorry.
Alright, let's try and get in a bit closer on this because Andy puts in a lot of work on these.
Oh, look at the eye.
Yeah, I think he's done a lot of work with the eyes.
I love the lip color.
I also like, it's like the fade isn't perfect, but you notice how like up the top here we've got the different color.
Yeah.
Like I think
brighter brown.
Yeah, I think that it looks really, really good. I think, especially with the ears, I like that. I think that that's come up really well. And what I like is the depth of shadow here. See how we got like 2 or 3 colors within that shadow? Yeah.
I think maybe it's too small to do it, but maybe a little bit more blending with that green would just make it chef's kiss. But it's really good
look at the size. Like that's his knuckle right there.
Yeah, okay.
And like
maybe that's as good as it's gonna get, but it's really good as is already.
Yeah, because like this is what I was talking about when Cal was like, "Oh, they're 28mm," and I'm like, "Yeah, a lot of the rings is 28mm too." And look at some of the size of some of them.
Puny.
Well, some of them are really puny, but yeah, like that. His thumb is bigger than like
it's like the size shoulders. Of that. Yeah, I know.
So
and he's got so much detail going on in the sleeves, the white.
Yeah,
I think he was good for white.
Looks really nice.
Very lovely.
Well done. Honestly, there's not a lot that I could say. Like the only thing that I could say to change it all is like just doing some micro scratches with the boots. But I'm not 100% on Andy's goal here. I think that it looks really good. I think that he's like everything's readable. Nothing looks bad. I think that the face has come up really well. So I really don't have like other than giving some micro scratches to the leather. That's about the only thing that I could
Yeah. And even at that point, we're not even sure if it'll show up at.
yeah. So I think it looks really good,
Yeah.
and like I feel a bit like I've gypped Andy because like I'm just sort of there like, yeah, it's good.
It's good. This is very nice.
All right. So finally we have
It's a Joe Assassin Adventure.
Yes.
It is a
Good-
real one.
Good day, fine people.
You gotta do it with the narrator. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna get rid of all your phlegm. Yes.
Good day, fine people. Not much this week. I got a boat done for Carnivale. Also, I have a second one to do, but I do not have much time. Also, I am showing you my vortex paint mixer. Well, my version.
Ugh. I did see the video and it was quite intense. Vortex paint mixer. We've got one. But
Well,
yes.
no, our one is not one of those vortex ones.
It is. It is. It was
No,
written on
no,
the box.
it's not. It's not a vortex mixer. It's essentially an off-brand vortex mixer.
It's
So
a
I think
test tube mixer actually, but yeah. Well, whatever. Anyway, it's a boat. A boat. Look at this boat.
like the only negatives I could say is like comes from the design of the boat itself. Like I look at this with the, the jet propeller. Like I think, but I really like the way that he's done the sort of scuffing down here.
The algae.
Yeah.
Algae.
I think that looks really nice.
Nice. Very nice.
And I like the rusted anchor there. That looks very cool.
So these are laser cut terrain pieces. I reckon. Yeah.
All right, let's.
Oh yes, look at this.
Gee.
I think it's about to fly. Oh no, it's still in there.
What?
It's attached to. Is that a drill? A drill.
I'm just gonna say. I'm just gonna hit the pause. I'm just gonna hit the pause button and say, WAYPN does not endorse this video.
All right, everybody.
But yeah, that looks like that's us for this week. Thank you so much for joining us, and we're really thankful to our members for showing off everything that they've shown.
Yes.
And look, guys, I hope that we are providing what you're looking to get out of it. And I'm sorry that I haven't been on the ball as much this week. If you've watched the end of our most recent video, which we didn't pop up on here, you'll know why. And essentially, we've been having some not fun times. So I'm sorry if I've dropped the ball a bit and you guys feel a bit abandoned. That's my bad. Sorry about that. And we hope that you have a wonderful week. And we will see you all next week.
We're gonna say it in the narrator voice today.
Oh, why do I have to say it?
Because I don't know, I just had the feeling.
Okay. We will see you all next week. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Right. Keep those brushes wet. Bye-bye.